Imagine going to the ATM to withdraw just $50 and later finding out that $1,200 vanished from your bank account. You're not alone. In 2024, Americans lost an estimated $5 billion to various ATM scams, and this number is climbing fast. Today, we're exposing one of the sneakiest tactics thieves are using to drain bank accounts right under our noses. Stay tuned, because I'll reveal exactly how they do it, and most importantly, how you can protect yourself from being the next victim. Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving into a new ATM scam that's leaving bank accounts empty and customers struggling to get their money back. Before we get started, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more tips on protecting your money. Now let's break down what's really happening. It all starts with scammers tampering with the ATM itself. Using superglue or a similar adhesive, they seal off the card insertion slot, making it impossible for you to insert your card the traditional way. This isn't just an inconvenience, it's a crucial step in the scam. By blocking the slot, they're pushing you to use the contactless tap feature instead. Unfortunately, this scam isn't just theoretical. It happened to one of our subscribers. Alex was at a busy shopping mall in Los Angeles when he needed to withdraw some cash. When he tried to use the ATM, he noticed the card slot wasn't working. Just then, a man nearby stepped in and suggested using the tap feature instead. Trusting the advice, Alex tapped his card, entered his PIN, and withdrew $60. He thought everything was fine and walked away, but things took a turn for the worse. Later that day, when Alex checked his bank account, he saw that an additional $1,500 had been withdrawn from his account, shortly after he left the ATM. Panicked, Alex called his bank to report the unauthorized transactions, but the bank's response was frustrating. They refused to refund the money, arguing that since he used his PIN, the withdrawals were considered authorized. It wasn't until Alex reached out to us that we realized this was part of a larger scam happening in multiple cities. The scammers rely on social engineering and ATM vulnerabilities to steal thousands from unsuspecting people in a matter of minutes. But why do banks often refuse refunds? You might be thinking, if I report the scam to my bank, they'll refund the money, right? Unfortunately, it's not that simple. Many victims of this scam are shocked to learn that banks frequently refuse to reimburse them, even when it's clear that unauthorized withdrawals were made. The reason? The bank's policy often hinges on the fact that the original transaction was considered authorized because the victim entered their PIN at the ATM. Here's how it works. When you tap your card and enter your PIN to make a withdrawal, the bank sees this as a confirmation that you authorized the transaction. Even though the scammer withdrew more money after you left, the bank's fraud detection systems treat those subsequent withdrawals as legitimate because the initial transaction was authenticated with your PIN. In their eyes, there's no clear evidence that someone else accessed your account. This creates a major hurdle for victims trying to get their money back. The bank essentially shifts the burden of proof onto the customer, requiring you to prove that you didn't make the additional withdrawals. And that's extremely difficult, especially when there's no clear video evidence of the scammer taking over the ATM session after you left. Even if the scam is reported quickly, banks often argue that since the PIN was used, it's the customer's responsibility. Some victims have had to fight for weeks or even months to get their claims approved, often with no guarantee of success. In Alex's case, which we mentioned earlier, his bank initially refused to refund the $1,500, and it wasn't until he escalated the case and involved the media that the bank finally reversed its decision. Unfortunately, Alex's story isn't unique. Many victims have reported similar experiences, with banks denying their claims and leaving them financially stranded. This is why it's crucial to understand how these scams work and take steps to protect yourself. Because once the money is gone, getting it back can be an uphill battle. This scam isn't just about tampering with an ATM, it's also a classic example of social engineering. The scammers rely on manipulating human behavior to make the victim feel at ease and follow their suggestions. Think about it. When a friendly stranger approaches you at the ATM and suggests using the tap feature to bypass a problem, it seems like a helpful tip. But this seemingly kind gesture is actually part of a calculated plan. Social engineering is a powerful tactic because it takes advantage of our natural instincts to trust others and seek solutions quickly, especially in stressful situations. In this scam, the helpful person isn't just a bystander, they're actively guiding you into a trap. By getting you to use the tap function, they're ensuring that your session remains open, allowing them to swoop in right after you leave. This approach is effective because it creates a false sense of security. Victims think they're just receiving friendly advice, but in reality, they're being coerced into a vulnerable situation. The scammer's goal is to make the whole interaction feel so natural that it doesn't raise any red flags until it's too late. Social engineering isn't new, but its use in modern ATM scams like this one shows how criminals are evolving their tactics. The more people rely on technology for convenience, the more they're exposed to subtle forms of manipulation that exploit both trust and distraction. Understanding how these tactics work is key to protecting yourself and recognizing red flags before it's too late. So what can you do to protect yourself from this sneaky ATM scam? Here are some critical steps to stay safe. First step: avoid using ATMs with card slot issues. If the card slot is blocked or feels unusual, find another ATM. Don't use the tap feature in this situation. Second step: always end your session manually. After completing a transaction, tap End Session on the ATM screen to ensure your account is logged out. Third step: be cautious of strangers offering help. If someone approaches you at the ATM, be wary. Social engineering is a key part of this scam. Fourth step: monitor your bank accounts regularly. The sooner you catch any unauthorized transactions, the better your chances of recovering your money. Fifth step: use ATMs inside banks when possible. These are less likely to be tampered with due to increased security and surveillance. Remember, scammers rely on distraction and confusion. Stay alert, trust your instincts, and don't let anyone pressure you into using a feature you're unfamiliar with. ATM scams are on the rise, and 2024 saw one of the highest increases in recent years. As technology evolves, so do the tactics used by criminals. With the rise of contactless payments and mobile banking, scammers are finding new ways to exploit weaknesses in our financial systems. Unfortunately, banks are often slow to address these issues, leaving consumers vulnerable. It's up to us to stay informed and take extra precautions when using ATMs and other payment methods. ATM scams may be getting more sophisticated, but that doesn't mean you have to be a victim. By understanding how these scams work and taking the right precautions, you can protect yourself and your money. If you found this information helpful, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with anyone who uses ATMs regularly. Let's help spread awareness and keep each other safe. And don't forget to drop a comment if you've experienced an ATM scam, or if you have any tips to share. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next video. Remember, staying informed and vigilant is your best defense against these scams. Always use two-factor authentication, and regularly monitor your bank statements for any suspicious activity. Share these tips with your friends and family to help them stay safe too. If you like our videos, stay tuned for more. Thank you for watching, and remember, staying informed is your best defense. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and we'll see you in the next video.